What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Grimm series on That Sounds Terrible. All right, so we all know that the Grimm is my favorite pedal. I pestered Shay quite a bit after he told me he was going to discontinue it after version 2. And luckily, we have all convinced him to bring it back. So we have Grimm 3 now. So let's start off with the version 1, which is Grimm. All right, so on the pedal we have a low, a blend, a gain, bass, treble, bite. Then we have a low cut, a high cut, and a three-way toggle for our clipping. On the inside of the pedal we have a tone control, we have a dry boost, and an impedance. And when I say a tone control, that is more or less the default kind of classic tone stack that you would get from, or tone control from like a standard tube screamer. All right, so with it being on the inside, you can kind of set it to where you want it and then forget about it. Some people ride theirs, 10 o'clock, 11, 12, 1, whatever. Grimm's 2, 3, and the Boomstick do not have this control. They are all at a fixed position or a fixed value. So from what I understand when I was talking with Shay, the tone control on the Grimm 1, if it is set to about 1 o'clock, that 1 o'clock window, that's kind of the same fixed value that I would be getting from the Grimm 2, 3, and Boomstick. So that's good to know. We'll note that in the next videos as we go and start comparing them in a little bit deeper dive. The Grimm 2, this one here, is version 1.1.2. We're going to refer to it as Grimm 2. It was the second iteration. So this one has bass, treble blend, gain, bite, level, and of course our high pass, low pass. And on the inside, and it has a three-way toggle for the clipping, it also has the dry boost and impedance on the inside. I don't know if I said that in the first one. Grimm 1 does have tone control, dry boost, and impedance. So then the next version that came out would have been the Boomstick. Now the Boomstick is, mine is a prototype. It is serial number 3. And I believe it is Taylor Danley's signature. I can't tell you anything else about it because I don't know. I don't know if it's still in production or pre-production. I don't know if it's being canceled or if they're working on a new variant. I have no idea. So the only thing I can speak to the Boomstick is that at one point this is or was Taylor's prototype. Shay was selling a bunch of extra stuff that he had. And I ended up getting lucky enough to buy that one. So the controls for that are tight, level, low, bite, high, gain, and there's a three-way clipping toggle. There is nothing on the inside to adjust. And then, of course, we have the Grimm 3, which is this one. And on that, we have low, high, blend, gain, level, bite. And then there is a tight knob here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah. So we have a tight switch or a tight knob. On the inside, we do have a low pass filter. We have a clipping dip switches. We have the dry boost and the impedance. So there is a lot going on Grimm 3, which matches up almost identically with Grimm 1. However, we don't have that tone control on the inside. So for this series, just to kind of keep it all the same, I figure we would use the same guitar, which in this case is my Deviant Grimoire, because it's a beautifully done guitar. To this day, it is still probably one of my favorite guitars I own. Royce did a phenomenal job, so huge shout out to Deviant Guitars. And next up, we're going to use the same amp, and that is going to be my early 2000s Mesa single rectifier. It's the Rectoverb 50. It is a Series 2. So we're on channel 2 with a modern switch. So that's all going to stay the same. The signal path is going to stay the same. So out of the guitar, into the line of pedals from right to left, and then into the amp switcher, which goes to the amp. All of that is being recorded on my Mojotone ISO cab. It is a 2x12 ISO cab. It has a microphone of a Lewitt MTP 440 on both speakers. Of course, it is positioned to personal taste, which is right at the edge of the cap and on the cone. The preamp that I'm using is the same one in all of the videos, which is a Blackline Audio Quad Atour. which all that is then gone into the Rodecaster Pro, which is then recorded through the computer and uploaded directly. So nothing will change, just like it does in none of the other videos. On the signal side, the ISO cab is the same, so everything we'll hear variance wise will be only the pedals. So in this video, it's going to be a lot of talking, obviously, and we'll just kind of do some quick A/B settings. I'm not going to say which ones are on what settings. I've dialed them in very similarly. This way it kind of shows the same balance between them, but yet you can still hear the differences. All right, so let's get some play testing done. And then we will kind of go from there and start into the next episode. So the next one we'll talk mostly about Grim 1, followed by Grim 2, Grim 3, the Boomstick, and then we'll do, you know, all the deep dive stuff from there. So, let's go. All right, so that is just kind of a basic comparison between the three. Like I said, in the next video, we're really going to dive deep into it. Now, I will go ahead and tell you up front, my Grim 3 is slightly defective. I do have a bad potentiometer. I have reached out to Shay, and we will be sending this one off to get fixed and taken care of, which is not a big deal. So it is what it is. And just to show you what is wrong. So basically, it's the pot. The pot's bad. As soon as you dial it down, you know, past 0, it starts introducing a lot of weird frequencies. I've unplugged it from the signal chain. I've tried multiple power supplies. Like right now, I use my DC Chalks 7. I've tried a wall wart, Diodario's 9-volt, one pedal in the line, no pedals in the line, straight into the amp, and it all does it. So we're pretty sure it's just the pot. Not a big deal. So we're not going to say anything negative about it because, you know, there's part tolerance. It is what it is. It's not a big deal. Anyways, thanks for watching the overview. Hopefully that's a quick history lesson on the Grim series. And on the next video, we're going to dive deep into the Grim 1. We'll see you then.